Good morning, all. Can you hear me? Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you're audible.
In the last class, I have finished the first chapter of function of complex variable. Apart from this, I have shared two lecture notes in the Google Classroom. Have you gone through these?
Sir, up to Milne Thompson it is.
Yeah, up to Milne Thompson. After that, up to Milne Thompson, I have discussed. After that, I have shared two notes where I have told that some applications are given as the solved problem. So just go through that, and if you face any kind of problem, just let me know. Have you gone through the solved problems? Is there anyone who have actually gone through? Have you any doubts? Because up to Milne Thompson, I have discussed. After that, in the lecture note, at the last of the lecture notes, I have given some solved problems or workout problems. So if you have any kind of doubts, you could ask me from that notes which I have shared already. Otherwise, I will start the second chapter. Does anyone have any doubts? Anupam?
Sir, I have done some problems from Daspal. I haven't gone through your notes.
Okay.
I'll do, sir. If there is problem, I'll let you know, sir.
Okay. Anyone? Others? Orithro?
Yes, sir, I didn't go through the notes.
Okay. So up to previous day's lecture, is it clear to all of you?
Sir, I have a problem.
Yeah, just tell me. So I am asking though. If you have any problem, doubts, just tell me.
Sir, actually the problem is from Daspal book. Sir, one minute. Sir, there is a problem that show that fz equals to log z is analytic everywhere in the complex plane except at the origin. So I cannot solve this problem.
Fz equals to
Log z.
log z.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. Just
Sir,
let me
we
say.
have to consider. Sir, my question is, we have to consider the z here x plus iy, or we should do by other method.
Z equals to x plus I obviously.
Sir, then we cannot break the into u and v part. Means we cannot break the complex part and the real part.
No, just here you need to show that since it is not analytic at z equals to 0 and at all other points it is differentiable. So here just you need to show that it is differentiable, because if it is differentiable at z equals to 0, then there is a scope of analyticity. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So at 0, if you use the properties, that means first principle, that means what is the first principle? That limit z tends to 0, fz minus f0 by z minus 0. If you do in that way, you will find that it will not be differentiable at z equals to 0. So obviously at z equals to 0, there is no scope of analyticity, because if it is analytic at z equals to 0, first of all, it should be differentiable at that point.
Yes.
So by using that first principle property, you can verify that the function will not be differentiable at z equals to 0. Okay.
Okay.
Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
So just try to do it once more. If you can't solve, just tell me in the next class. I'll be solving it. Otherwise,
Okay.
if you ask me to solve here, I can solve it.
Sir, please
So do you
solve
try
this
one more?
because uh, sir, it's better if you solve today.
Okay. Okay, I'm doing. Can you see the screen? Can you see the screen?
Yes, sir.
So fz equals to log z. So here the problem is like that. This is not analytic at z equals to 0. So first we check its differentiability. So at z equals to, what is the derivative? Limit z tends to 0, fz minus f0 by z minus. So what is the value of log 0? Hmm? Can anyone tell me what is the value of log 0?
So log 0 is undefined.
Log 0 is undefined. So since log 0 is undefined, from here you can't do it.
Sir, we can satisfy the Cauchy diamond.
So in the case of in the directly you can do so. So rather you can convert it in real imaginary part. Alright, if you want to do in that way, not at 0. We can do in that way. Say w equals to fz log z. Log z means if z equals to x plus iy, Okay, so just I'll solve it and I'll give you in the next class. Let me think because in that way it cannot be solved directly. So somehow it can be done. Okay. So apart from this problem, do you have any other problem? So just let me write down and I'll do it and provide you in the next class. Apart from this problem, is there any other problem from anyone? Hmm?
Sir, I have a query. Sir, the function e to the power sin z, it is analytic or not, we can do by Cauchy-Riemann equation.
Function e to the power
Sin z.
sin j.
So if you want to verify that the function is analytic or not, uh,
Sin x plus iy. If you break this sin x cos iy cos x sin iy. So you can write e to the power sin x e to the power cos iy. This cos iy you can't break. This is just this sort of function. It's not very much easier to convert this in real and imaginary part so that we can verify by Cauchy-Riemann equation. So if you use
Sir,
uh,
sir, it can be solved like cos iy equals to cos hy, where cos hy equals to ey plus e to the power minus y by 2.
cos iy equals to
Cos hy.
cos
Um,
hyperbolic cos iy equals to not cos hyperbolic y.
yes, sir, cos iy equals to cos hy.
No, this is not equals to this. Cos hyperbolic y is this. Cos hyperbolic y is actually e to the power y plus e to the power minus y
By 2.
by 2, and cos y is actually e to the power, yeah, this will be cos iy will be cos hy, yeah.
Yes, sir, and sin iy equals to I sin hy.
Hmm.
By that we can solve it.
You can solve this, yeah. But how you can separate real imaginary I sin hy
Yes, sir, I sin hy.
cos
So there will be I cos x and sin hy.
uh,
So if I break that, the first part will be sin x cos hy, and the second part will be I cos x into sin hy. So you can break
but
in
this
u
is
and v.
multiplied though.
Uh,
E to the power
uh,
this plus this, that means e to the power this into e to the power this.
uh, Sir, at first I'm not breaking it in e format. I am just telling the u and v. Then we will calculate del u del x. I'm not breaking in e format first. I'm just writing cos iy equals to cos hy, and then sin iy equals to I sin hy. Then I'm separating by u and v. I'm comparing with u and v and
How
getting
you are
the
getting uv sin x plus iy?
if z equals to sin z equals to sin x plus iy. Then I have that sin a plus b formula. So sin x cos iy plus cos x sin iy. Then cos iy equals to cos hy, and sin iy equals to I sin hy. So I am getting two portions, one with imaginary and one with real.
Right, so I sin hy cos x, this one. Is that clear
Yes,
or
sir.
not? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Then how you can separate? E to the power this plus this, that means e to the power sin x cos hy into this one. Then after that,
Um,
how you can proceed?
Yes, sir. I am not able to separate.
These sort of complex functions we can't show it directly. In other manners there is a method, but I don't know whether you will be able to understand this method. I didn't discuss this. Okay, so let me write down these two functions. So one is log z, another is e to the power sin z. Okay, I'll check these two and I'll discuss in the next class. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so apart from these two functions, do you have any other problem? Any other problem do you have? Okay. So today I'll be starting the geometrization of complex valued function. That means what is the geometrical property of complex valued function and how we can see it. Okay, so just before I start discussing, just let me discuss what is the geometrical significance of function of one real variable and function of two real variable, which you have studied earlier. Then we can compare it. Although I have discussed it earlier, but we can compare it with the previous knowledge. Then we can proceed further. Let's see if I consider the function of one real variable, say y equals to fx. Then number of independent variable is 1 and number of dependent variable is 1. So total there are two variables. So we can incorporate the two variables as a point in the two-dimensional geometrical figure. So we are taking the value of x, for that we are getting the value of y. So if I join them, this will give us the locus. This locus will give us a curve in two-dimensional plane. Since there are two variables, so two variables we can incorporate as a point in the two-dimensional plane. So if we join them, this will be providing us a curve geometrical. So similarly, if I consider the function of two real variable z equals to fxy, then total there are three variables, two independent, one dependent. So the independent variables are xy and dependent variable is z. So here we are considering independent variable as a point in the two-dimensional xy plane, independent plane, and we are drawing the perpendicular corresponding to each and every independent point in the z direction. And we are getting these points. If I join those points, I will be getting the locus, which is surface. Okay, this is the equation of a surface. Yeah. So in the case of function of complex variable, fz equals to w. So the independent variable is z and dependent variable is w. But here z and w both are complex numbers. So since z and w both are complex numbers, so both z and w has real and imaginary part. So since both z and w have real and imaginary part, so z has the real part x, imaginary part iy, and w has real part u, imaginary part iv. So total there are four variables. You can write down this in the form of fxy equals to ub. So in the first class also, in the first chapter also, while I have discussed this, I have told that while I have started discussing the function of complex variable, I have told that since here the number of variables are four, so we can't incorporate all the four variables in a single frame of reference because we can visualize up to three-dimensional geometrical object and we can draw the geometrical figure or we can draw the graph of three-dimensional geometrical object. So we can't draw the graph of four-dimensional geometrical object. So how we can incorporate that thing? So we can incorporate that thing as two separate two-dimensional planes. Since there are four variables, so we can consider two separate two-dimensional plane. One is z plane, another is w plane, w organ plane. So here the real axis is x, imaginary axis is y, and here real axis is u and imaginary axis is v. Now I'm giving an example. Let's say I'm considering the function fz equals to z square. So that is our w. That means uv can be written in the form of here x square minus y square to 2x. Is that clear or not? Is that clear up to this? Huh?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So here I can consider the independent variable z independently. That means z is x plus iy. Okay. So since z is x plus iy, so I can take the value of z independently. That means I can take the value of xy independently. So let's say I'm taking the value of x as 1 0, 2 0, 1 1, 3 2, like that. So since the function is w equals to fz equals to z square, so each and every point which we are considering the z eigenplane will be mapped to some points in the w eigenplane. So if I take here 1 0, so x is 1, y is 0, so u will be 1, v will be 0. So 1 0 is mapped to 1 0 in the uv plane. And if I take here 2 0, that will be 4 0. So like that 4 0. If I take 1 1, 1 1 means this will be 0 2. So this will be mapped to 0 2. If I take 3 2, so 9 minus 4, that is 5 12. So this will be mapped to like this 5 12. In that way, if I take the independent variable arbitrarily in the z eigenplane, so each and every point will be mapped to some points in the w eigenplane. So if I join them, then it will give us a two-dimensional curve. So similarly, if I join their corresponding images, this will give another two-dimensional curve. So here, by virtue of the complex valued function, I can think that it is transforming a two-dimensional geometrical figure from one eigenplane to another eigenplane. So instead of considering the overall geometrical figure in the one frame of reference like the previous two cases, here we are considering two separate frame of reference. So here this z eigenplane is considered as the domain, this w eigenplane considered as the codomain. So here we are taking the value of z arbitrarily. Okay. So then corresponding to that, I am taking the value of w here. Is that clear? Is that clear or not?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let me back to this. So here, as a complex valued function, I can consider that here I am considering a z plane. So it is converting each and every point from z eigenplane to w eigenplane. So z is converted here to w, then z1 is converted here to w1. So in that way, if I join all these independent variables here, I'll be getting a two-dimensional curve. And if I join their corresponding images in the w plane, I'll be getting another two-dimensional curve. So here I could consider that it is transforming a two-dimensional geometrical curve from one eigenplane to another eigenplane. Now, is that clear up to this?
Yes.
Is it clear to all of you? I'm asking to everyone. Hmm? Okay. So here we'll be considering there are two different kind of mapping. One is called the conformal mapping, other is called the isogonal mapping. What is conformal and isogonal mapping? Say for example, here I can take a different set of points in the z diagonal plane. So if I join them, I'll be getting a curve. let's say C1. Then if I consider another set of independent variables in the Argand plane Z and join them, I'll be getting, say, let's say another curve C2. So let's say they are intersecting at the point x0, y0. So since I am considering a mapping or function, so each and every point from the Z organal plane will be mapped to some points in the W organal plane. So all the points which is over the curve C1 will be mapped to some points in the W organal plane. So if I join them, let's say this is giving a curve C1 prime. Similarly, the points which are over the C2 curve, if a mapping is defined, so each and every point will be mapped to some point in the W organal plane. So if I join them, I'll be getting another two-dimensional curve, let's say C2 curve. And let's say they are intersecting at the point u0, v0. So where u0, v0 is nothing but the image of x0, y0. Okay. So the angle which is made between these two curves, if it is same here in magnitude as well as in direction. What do you mean by the direction? So we can measure the direction of the angle by either anti-clockwise direction or clockwise direction. So here it is anti-clockwise, here also it is anti-clockwise, and the amount of angle which is made by two curves here and made by two curves here are same. Then the function by which these two curves are transformed to this curve is called as the conformal mapping. And if this angle is only fixed in magnitude but the directions are different, that is called as the isogonal mapping. Is that clear or not?
Sir, please explain it again.
Okay. Let me discuss it here. Let's say a simple example. Fz equals to z square, that is x square minus y square to xy. So here I can take the value of z as which are lying over the curve C1, let's say. That means 1, 1, y equals to x curve, 2, 2, 3, 3. I can take these points as the value of z. Is that clear or not?
Yes, sir.
Similarly, I can take the independent variable z along x axis, that is y equals to 0. That means 1, 0, 2, 0, 3, 0, like that. Okay. So by virtue of this function, each and every point will be mapped to some points in the WRN plane. So the set of points which we are considering as the points over the curve C1, and let's say this is the curve C2. So if I consider the mapping, then 1, 1 will be mapped to 0, 2. 2, 2 will be mapped to 0, 8. 3, 3 will be mapped to 0, 18, like that. So all these points which is over here will be mapped to some points. If I join this, I'll be getting this. I'll be getting this curve. Similarly, the point which we have considered here, 1, 0, 2, 0, if I put it here, that will be 1, 0 if I put here, so this will be 1, 0. 2, 0 if you put here, that will be 4, 0. Similarly, that will be 9, 0, like that. So these points are we have considered here. These points we have considered here. So this angle, let's say, is theta, and this angle, let's say, theta prime. So if the magnitude of the angles are same in magnitude as well as in direction, then the mapping will be called as this mapping will be called as the conformal mapping. And if they are same in magnitude but not in direction, that will be called as the isogonal mapping. Okay. Is that clear? Is that clear?
If the magnitude and direction both are same, then it is
conformal mapping.
Conformal mapping.
And if the angle is preserved but magnitude, angle is not preserved but magnitude is same, then this is called as the isogonal mapping. Okay. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
So how to check conformal mapping? There are lots of theorems we'll be discussing, and for isogonal mapping, just I'm giving one example. say let's say fz equals to z bar. This is isogonal mapping because fz equals to z bar means, let's say we are considering a point z. Then z bar means its corresponding image corresponding to the real axis. So z and z bar will be just in the opposite side. This will be the image of z. So if you take some points over here, and if you take another line x-axis as the c1 and this is a c1 c2, then this angle and this angle will be same in magnitude because the distance of z and z bar both are same from x-axis. But while we are measuring z, we are going in the anti-clockwise direction, and while we are measuring z bar, we are going against the clockwise direction. That means against in the clockwise direction, and here we are measuring this in the anti-clockwise direction. So this is an example of isogonal mapping because these two angles are same, but their magnitude are same, but their directions are not same. Is that clear?
So either magnitude or direction may be different.
No. For the case of conformal mapping, both magnitude and direction should be same. And for the case of isogonal mapping, magnitude will be same, but direction will be different.
Okay, magnitude will be
So
same.
here
Okay.
magnitude are same now because the distance of z from x-axis, distance from z bar from x-axis both are same. So this angle will be same. So if you consider z and z bar, so for that amplitude is same now. Is that clear or not?
And here say we are not considering that W argand plane or
Why we
I
are not
mean
considering? Okay, just let me show it here. We are considering both. How we are considering both? Say fz equals to z bar. This is the function. So let us consider the z argand plane, and let us consider the w argand plane. uv, this is xy. So fz equals to z bar means key x minus iy. So this function can be considered as f of xy equals to x minus y. Is that clear? So u is here x and v is here minus y. Is that clear?
okay, so then
So that's
that
why
toward yes
this
that
x-axis and
toward
u-axis are same, and
yes
v
sir, yes
instead
sir,
of v-axis I can consider minus y-axis.
yes sir, yes, I understood.
So if I consider this z point, then I am considering y equals to x, say, and this is say y equals to 0. And each and every point on y equals to x will be mapped to y equals to minus x. Is that clear? By virtue of this mapping, because if you take 1 1, 1 1 will be mapped to 1 minus 1, 2 2 will be mapped to 2 minus 2. Is that clear? And the points which are over the x-axis, that is say 1 0, 2 0, 3 0, that will be mapped to again 1 0, 2 0, 3 0. So this angle is same as this angle, but the direction is different. Is that clear? So this
Yes.
is an example of isogonal mapping. Was it clear to all? Was it clear to all?
Sir, explain
Which one?
this hypothetical state.
Okay, spherical statement means key. Isogonal means key. If two curves intersect in the z-axis, and if their corresponding images intersect in the w-axis, w plane, then the angle between them, if are preserved in magnitude as well as in direction, that is called as a conformal mapping. And this is conserved or preserved in the sense of magnitude, but the directions are different. That is called as the isogonal mapping. So here, if I consider say this is C1 and this is C2, then the image of this C1 under this mapping will be this C1 prime, and this C2 and C2 prime will be same. Is that clear or not?
Yes, sir.
So what is the angle between these two curves? The angle between these two curves is let's say theta. Then since the image of this is this, so actually the distance of this straight line from x-axis and distance of this straight line from x-axis will be same. So these two angles are same, but while we are going to measure this straight line from this axis, then we are going in the anti-clockwise direction, and here we are going in the clockwise direction. So these angles are same in magnitude. If this is 30 degree, this will also be 30 degree, but actually the directions are different. Okay.
Sir, here, as it is given FG request date, but there we are taking a mirror image. But when it is given a z square plus 2z or sin z,
And then
then what we have to see?
if for isogonal example I have given this isogonal mapping. If the function is not like that, so I can show in the different frame of reference. Here since u is actually x and v is actually minus y, that's why I'm saying so showing in the same frame of reference. Is that clear?
This is isogonal because the direction is different.
Yeah, the directions are different, but the angle is same.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Uh, Then how to check whether a given mapping is conformal or not? I'll be discussing this in the next class. So like the analytic function, to verify whether a given function is conformal or not, there are also lots of theorems. So that theorems I'll be discussing in the next class. Is that clear up to this? Whatever I have discussed, have you got it up to isogonal mapping? What is isogonal? Hmm? Have you all understood? The example of isogonal mapping, is it clear?
Yes, sir.
So the conformal, how to verify whether a given function is a conformal function or not, we'll be discussing in the next class. And the problem which both of you have given, that the function fz equals to log z and fz equals to the power sin z, how to verify whether these are analytic or not, I'll be discussing in the next class. Okay, let me share the IMCRP code. So this is the link. So this is the code. So just click the link and provide the exam code and full enrollment ID and complete the class test by 12:30. Someone just check and let me know whether you can access it right now or not. Can you access it right now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you all for attending today's class. I am leaving. Have a good day.